Peace. So pretty much, I'm all in on combat fighting, combat sports, boxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, one championship, UFC, Muay Thai. I'm really into all of it. And I've been into it for a very long time. Ever since the UFC, the conception of the UFC. You know, the Ultimate Fighting Championship won. You know, Horace Gracie, Shamrock. I've been on it for over 20 years. So I'm definitely capable of giving some insight on the fights. I've been kind of thinking about building on it on this channel. So I'm gonna start building on it periodically. So I think UFC 294. This is for the co-main event. Usman versus Chimeav. That's a very interesting fight. A lot of people want to see it. Costa, injury, can't go. So 9 days notice, Usman steps in. But you gotta salute Kamaru for stepping in, because the fact of the matter is Chimeav is a monster. He's already proven that. By his own admission, it's hard for him to get fights. Now, whether that's true or not is irrelevant. He hasn't been fighting, and just take it on face value, right? He can't get a fight. So, what do we think about the co-main event? So if you know anything about MMA, UFC, you know Usman held it down for an extremely long time. Extremely long time. Definitely Hall of Famer right off the bat. So we know what he brings to the table. So Chimeav, he been hawk smashing people long as he been in the UFC. Going in straight maniac style. Now what I see Chimeav doing, which I've never seen nobody make the correlation. If you know Mark the Hammer Coleman, he used to run up in there in a similar fashion and just smash you. So you gotta have your acumen up to even know about Mark the Hammer Coleman. When he was getting it in, he was running in, destroying you, thus being called the Hammer. Similar to how Chimeav do, run in there and hawk, smash, pancake you. That's a fact. Chimeav's fighting style is freestyle wrestling, grappling, more so wrestling. That's his foundation. But my man got straight power, because he putting you to sleep as well. If he gets you down, his ground and pound is tremendous, insane. So he got the wrestling and he got the power to turn your lights out. So that's really a double whammy. And the way he boss up in there with all that energy and just be attacking you, not giving you a chance to breathe, not giving you a chance to get your strategy to deploy whatever you're trying to do within a fight, with him all over you, young, 29 years old, gang of energy, turned all the way up, taking you down or knocking your ass out, so you don't know what to go, right? You trying to fight the takedown and trying to secure your chin at the same time. That's a double whammy, man. That's a straight threat. That's why he the favorite. Young, turned, 29, man. Youth is a blessing. Youth is beauty. And he got the wrestling. So he got the foundation and he got the knockout, right? So, man, he is the favorite, and he should be the favorite because he got the momentum. He been smashing people. He got the power. He got the wrestling. He got all the goods to say that he should run up in there and take Kamaru straight up out of there. So that's the first piece, right? That's what Chimeav got going on. So here go the comparisons. Kamaru, his foundation is wrestling. He has the wrestling. And what we know, he has the power too. Somewhere along the line, of course, not somewhere, but all the practicing, all the skills training, my man got the knockout power now. He already didn't prove that as well. So he got ditto abilities like Chimeav. My man got the wrestling down and he got the power. The exact same thing I just said about Chimeav. However, he doesn't have the youth. Kamaru was 26. In his last fight against Edwards, he looked at 36. However, the catch is Kamaru is 36, a full 7 years older, right? And in his last fight against Edwards, he looked 36. He looked lethargic. He looked like he didn't have that snap. He didn't have that bounce that we normally see him have. Because in the second fight against Edwards, he was winning the whole fight, obviously, until he caught that leg kick, right? But in the third fight, he looked old. He looked lethargic, like he couldn't get his game together, like he couldn't put together a series of combinations. He didn't even look like his old self, which stands to reason a lot of criticism came that he's just too old now, right? That his reign is over. So even though they both have very similar fighting styles with the wrestling and the power to knock somebody out, that youth element is going to play a factor because Chimeav is turned all the way up, and Kamaru really doesn't fight like that. He's more strategic, and he fights at a pace. If he can get you into his pace, you in his world, right? Something else to point out, Usman has endurance and win for 5 rounds. He always fight 5 rounds. We know his conditioning is up to par, above average. His conditioning is second to none. But we can't say the same for Chimeav. We've seen Chimeav gas out. He run up in there with that hammer Coleman, take you down, Hawk smash, and I didn't see him get tired. You didn't see him get tired too. So what does that say? If you can't take Usman out in the first round or two, it's probably going to be a long night, right? So that's definitely something to consider, right? One is turned up, a shitload of energy. One is super seasoned, super experienced, like to fight at a pace and just does not get tired, right? I'm telling you, this is going to be a crazy fight because Chimeav trying to make a statement. Man, if he can get Usman up under his belt to put that on his wall of heads, right? That's going to have his whole resume just out of this world. So I know he's definitely going in there to make an example, to let everybody know that I am who I say I am. And Usman is looking to let everybody know that I am who I say I am. And I saw in the interview, Usman was saying that he just wasn't himself in the last fight he had against Edwards. And that was basically like the worst that he can do when he go out there. So is it the worst, right? Is he over the hill? So he got something to prove too. Man, this makes a super intriguing fight with these two that's similar in styles, but still there's differences that make it super interesting. So it's been comments about how strong Chimeav is and that he will be overwhelming for Kamaru. I beg to differ. I really think they pretty much the same in terms of strength. Kamaru isn't weak. I mean, that wrestling background, just like Chimeav. So I don't think there's going to be a big advantage for Chimeav in terms of strength, right? I don't think it is. I think it's going to be even Steven as far as strength and leverage, the surprise, and the energy. The energy level is going to determine more so than strength, right? Can Chimeav take Usman down? I mean, he got incredible takedown defense. He's one of the best. Can he take him down? And if he take him down, can he keep him down? Now, of course, he's just a bigger man walking around. However, Kamaru is well versed in wrestling. And Can Kamaru take Chimeav down? Now again, he was struggling to take Edwards down, and Edwards isn't Chimeav in terms of size and energy. So you would say that no, off his last showing, he's going to struggle trying to take him down. Is he going to even take him down? See, this is when you're going to get straight into the strategies of the coaches of what they're trying to implement. So it's going to be a lot of coaching. The coaches is going to have a lot to do with it in terms of the strategy and the plan that they have to even win the fight, right? So of course we're going to say the two combatants, yada, 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 but the coaching, what the overall planning is going to be extremely imperative about who is going to win. Mark my word, the coaching got a lot to do with it. My prediction is the first 2 rounds are highly in Chimeav's favor. If he comes out like we know him to come out, which I'm pretty sure he will, because he do always be saying that Kamaru was old, he's an old man. So these first 2 rounds are super beneficial, super advantageous for Chimeav. 3rd round, 4th, wait a minute, hold up, what the hell am I talking about? The co-main event is 3 rounds. It's not 5 rounds. So the advantage is definitely to Chimeav. It's only 3 rounds. Now, granted, I've seen co-main events go 5 rounds. I'm assuming that it's 3 rounds, so that's even more reason that Chimeav should win. Because if it's only 3 rounds, then he can gas out, right? He could turn up for 1 or 2 rounds and coast the 3rd round, or however his strategy is. But 5 rounds would lean more toward Usman. 3 rounds is leaning towards Chimeav, right? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. 5 rounds, like it's the main event. I'm thinking about all the fights that Usman do is 5 rounds. So nah, this is 3 rounds, which make it even more crazier. Usman got to be on the ball. My man got to be on his square and be turned up immediately as well. I'm telling you, the strategy gonna be everything. Also, when Chimeav fought Burns, we saw a few dents in his armor, right? And again, I've heard Kamaru speak on that. So I know they looking at that fight to see where they can get some pointers to actually win, to get the victory. So we saw that. If I'm mistaken, that was 5 rounds when Chimeav fought Gilbert. So that was 5 rounds. It's not 3 rounds. It's totally different because you don't have to reserve no gas in the tank. You can go all out, right? So I'm leaning towards Kamaru for the experience. He know what to do. He knows exactly what to do. And Chimeav hasn't fought nobody to the level of Usman, especially the experience and the mental game that he's going to bring to this fight. So I'm leaning towards the upset with Kamaru in a knockout, right? A TKO, a ground and pound. Believe it. Remember, come back to this video. I'm going with Kamaru for the upset victory. Man, let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know that I'm full of shit, that I don't know absolutely nothing about what I'm talking about. It's going to be a good fight. Get ready. Peace.